Hello, and welcome to another one of Icebat's video game commentaries. Okay, so I was on the bus to school this morning, and as usual, it is completely filled up. So I have to stand and hang on to one of those metal support bars to maintain my balance. I try to always stand at the very front. Of the bus because I'm too scared of people to go into the back where they all seem to gather together. Our bus stops on the way and picks up a few more people. Oh my god, who is shooting at me? Our bus stops on the way and picks up a few more people, a couple of them being black, and one of the black guys, even though there is plenty of room behind me, to stand and ride the bus, chooses to stand right next to me at the front of the bus for the entire bus ride. I felt so uncomfortable the entire time. Now, I want to make it clear that I am not racist, and it wasn't because he was black that was making me uncomfortable, although it certainly didn't help. Kidding. Just kidding, everyone. You know, if these guys, if their outfits were white, it would have a completely different meaning. So I felt really uncomfortable the entire time. And no, it wasn't because he was black. And I know you're all thinking that. Oh, by the way, those infusion things that you pick up right there that you saw me, you can increase your health, you can increase shields.
What exactly was the great emancipator emancipating the Negro from?
Or salts.
From his daily bread, from the nobility of honest work, from wealthy patrons who sponsored them from cradle to grave, from clothing and shelter. And what have they done with their freedom? Why, go to Finkton and you shall find out. No animal is born free, except the white man. And it is our burden to care for the rest of creation.
Okay, so the reason why it made me uncomfortable was because where he decided to stand next to me made it so he was between me, my arm, and the support bar I was grabbing onto. So I had to ride the bus all the way to school, which is about a 15-minute ride from the bus station, with my arm basically around this black dude standing next to me. Meanwhile, I'm just thinking to myself, oh my god, why couldn't it have been like a hot chick or something?
He is considered brimming with danger and evil intent, and we implore you not to tempt ruin by facing him.
See, they don't build things like they used to. These days, if you put a bullet through a radio, it's done. It's like 5 years ago, I never imagined that in the future I would be in a situation where I'd be riding the bus to school. I just came from there. And have my arm draped around a black man for 15 minutes. Right? Just recently, I was in another situation where I had that same line of thought. So, on Sunday, I had to go and visit my mom because it was my grandmother's birthday, and she was coming over to visit, so I get there in the morning, and what a surprise, the house is a complete disaster. Well, not a complete disaster, I mean, the floor needed to be swept. there was a ton of dishes that needed to be done. And my mother still had the freaking Christmas tree. The Christmas tree from last Christmas, which was like 4 months ago, in the freaking den. And it was one of the most saddest, pathetic things I had ever seen, at least in that morning. Once again, I feel like I'm just kind of like wandering around.
Sweet Mother of Columbia, why do we worship three symbols in your memory? We worship the sword, so that we might avenge you. We worship the raven, so that we might cover the city with eyes. We worship the coffin, because it symbolizes the weight of our faith.
That was interesting. In some of these slides, you'll notice phrenology. And if for those of you who don't know what phrenology was, it was the study of the skull, the human skull. What is this? Hello. Yeah, there are a lot of secret areas in this game. You have to really keep your eyes open for things like this. And here's some gear. It's clothing. You can equip it. Like these pants, they're gonna decrease the recharge delay in the shield. And there's various other gear that you can get throughout the game. So anyways, for those of you who don't know what phrenology is, it's when people used to think that by measuring certain aspects of the skull, like, let's say that area of the brain was, or that area of the skull, you would be more secretive depending on its measurements, and it's complete bullshit. But let's see what's in. Oh, hello. So I enter the house and my mom doesn't even welcome me, doesn't say hi, just says to me, sweep the floor and I'll handle the dishes.
Lady, let me pass your test.
Ah. Oh, that was easy.
What's this? New kind of vigor? That's a hell of a thing.
Why did it have to be murder of crows? I can't stand crows. It's like every time I go running, these crows, they caw at me and they dive bomb me, and I swear to God they have it out for me. Bats do not mix with crows.
Summon murderous crows. Hold and release to create a nest trap.
Let's just pretend they're bats. So from now on, these are not crows that I'm using, they are bats. Now that is bat ass. This is Icebat, presenting you with the best puns of 2013. So she tells me to sweep the floor and she'll handle the dishes. And I swear to you, she does this every time she invites me over for someone's birthday party or a holiday or something and has me help her clean the place up before guests arrive. Right at the last second. I tell her there's no way I am going to sweep that floor. You do this every time. You invite me over, don't even give me a proper welcome. And give me chores. It's like I'm 25 years old, unemployed, back in school, and I just never imagined myself in this whole situation. Like, I thought I would be at a better point in my life. and now I have to go visit my mom, and she's having me sweep the floor. And I don't know, it's just not what I expected. In preparation for my 75-year-old grandma's birthday, and I'm just not going to do it. 5 minutes later, I'm on my hands and knees scrubbing off the coffee stains off the kitchen floor, while at the same time trying to gather up bits of food and dust with a wet towel. Since the broom is a piece of shit and can't sweep up anything since it's like 10 years old. Eventually, we get the house spotless. And I had to take the tree and stuff. Or I had to take the tree and stuff it outside. In the back of the house, which is done like a minute before my grandma walks in the door. And she's driven by my stepbrother because she can't drive. I mean, she's far too old, and you know old people can't drive, right? By the way, whoops. By the way, I mean, have you ever imagined what it's like to grow old and like have all that stuff taken away from you? Well, I don't drive. So maybe if I never drive and always bust places, maybe I'll never have to worry about that. But my god, that must suck, right? My murder of bats. So she was driven there by my stepbrother, who, I might add, is also a huge asshole prick. And I probably only say this because he has his life together and I don't. But you know what? He's still a prick. So, what am I doing? I'm going to the gondola station. For a split second, that just sounded wrong to me. The way I said it. So my grandmother steps in the door, and we greet her with a pleasant welcome and smiles all around, unknown to her that just hours earlier, this place was a wreck. Now, my grandmother is not the most, I should say, progressive of mindsets. And the entire day was made perfect when she looked up, looked straight at me, and said, "Glad I ain't seen you with no nigger woman on your arm." If only she could have seen me this morning on the bus. It would have blown her mind. I guess if there was anything to take from these two scenarios, it's the power of positive thought and the impact it can have on our lives. Mind you, if I had this power of positive thought, I'd probably be a lot better off. Instead, I continually dwell on what could have been or how things could be better. It's like, when I am at the bus station, I just see the people of low socioeconomic status, the dirt, the grime, the way our capitalist culture looks down on government employees. Whoop. Oh my god, there's a freaking glass there! And I just think to myself, God, what a disgusting mess.
No point hiding.
What is it? Is it a bat? We'll have to find out. Well, the other day I saw this kid who was excited and happy to be at the bus station. Oh, if any of you heard that, that was my cat meowing. Ah! Oh my god, they're still here. So I see this kid at the bus station, and he's so excited and happy, and his eyes are just full of wonder and anticipation to be on the train that, you know, goes through the station. It's like all the grime and dirt and poor people are just wiped away through the glow of an innocent child's eyes. And I wish I had that. Like, I wish I could see the world through the eyes of a child, and maybe, just maybe, if we all tried to think a little more positively, we could all obtain that instead of dwelling on things. I mean, wouldn't all of our lives be made easier? Well, this has been Icebat giving you more video game commentary. Thank you for listening. Tune in next time.